Right now at 6, a small school district facing a financial crisis weighs a $2 million loan to stay afloat. Plus,
to send her off this way, she's a hero. That's all I gotta say. She's a hero.
Honoring a young woman who overdosed on fentanyl, who also chose to give the gift of life to others. And a big blow for a proposed grocery mega merger, the rulings that could doom Kroger and Albertson's plan to join and sell off dozens of local stores. Then later, awards piling up for the Oregon Ducks after their perfect regular season, the big recognition for a homegrown defensive standout. Thank you for joining us here at 6. I'm Christine Pedawanich. We start with a big decision for the Corbett School District. In about an hour, the school board will vote on taking a $2 million loan. It would help them through a $3 million budget shortfall and some major cuts. Our Catherine Cook is live in Corbett now, where concern over teacher layoffs continue. Catherine.
Christine, if nothing changes, the district is planning on cutting 10 positions, including 3 teachers, and asking staff to take furlough days. District officials tell us they first learned about the $3 million deficit last summer after their new chief financial officer uncovered multiple accounting errors. The superintendent said the district's former accountant made the errors, someone they contracted with through the Multnomah Education Service District. Ironically, the $2 million loan they're voting on tonight would also be coming from MESD. Many parents we've spoken with are confused by that, and they're still frustrated with the district over getting so far into debt in the first place, saying there should have been more financial oversight. And tonight's special board meeting begins at 7 o'clock. We'll have the results of their vote tonight on KGW News at 11. Christine.
Appreciate your coverage. Again, Catherine Cook reporting from Corbett. Thank you. In your headlines this afternoon, police got into a standoff at Camp Withicum in Happy Valley. Investigators say a man with a gun who was having an apparent mental health crisis barricaded himself alone inside a building on the National Guard base. It is located just off Highway 224 and east of 205. After several hours, the situation ended without any arrests or injuries. Instead, the man was taken to the hospital for evaluation. Gresham police are searching for a suspect who shot and injured a person earlier this morning. It happened just before 3 o'clock at an apartment complex near Southwest Pleasant View Drive and 14th. One person was taken to the hospital. We don't know how badly they're hurt. Right now, there is no information about the shooter. Call Gresham police if you know anything. And it was quite a mess before sunrise this morning on I-5 in Southwest Portland when a semi-truck hauling nuts caught fire. It happened around 2:30 a.m. in the southbound lanes near the Capitol Highway exit. Portland Fire and Rescue says the fire started in the tractor, then spread to the trailer. Firefighters cut their way inside to remove as many boxes of almonds and cashews as they could, and also doused the boxes that were on fire. It took about 3 hours to fully put out those flames. The driver was not hurt. Also, big news from Alaska Airlines today. For the first time, it'll be offering nonstop flights to destinations in Asia. Alaska will launch routes from SeaTac to Tokyo, Japan in May and to Seoul, South Korea in October. The airline says the international expansion is part of its goal to grow profits by $1 billion through 2027. But by 2030, Alaska hopes to have flights from Seattle to at least a dozen international destinations. It plans to use the wide-body planes acquired from the recent merger with Hawaiian Airlines. Let's get to a little bit of weather now. Take a look at this time lapse from our Rose City Skycam. This is normally a pretty clear shot of the downtown skyline from across the river, but you saw it got off to a foggy start throughout the Willamette Valley this day. But by late morning, most of it had actually burned off here in Portland. Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino here now with a first look at our forecast. Hey, Matt. Hey,
Christine. Yeah, the question is, will we see a repeat performance of the fog that we had this morning again tomorrow morning? Out at Salem right now, beautiful. The Christmas trees all lit up behind the Capitol. It's chilly. It's 37 degrees. Humidity is high. But with the cloud cover we have, fog's going to have a bit of a tougher time forming and getting as thick as it did last night when we started out with a clear sky. So I don't think it'll be that bad. Hey, let's brighten things up a bit. Go up to the Oregon Zoo where zoo lights are happening. Love the star on the tree. The totem's all lit up. People going in for zoo lights right there. So a nice night to do that with no rain falling. It is chilly though. Make sure you bundle up, of course. 38 degrees up at the Oregon Zoo right now. Let's check out the winds. They're picking up in East County. Finally seeing them punch through at the Portland airport. Troutdale sustained at 22. Farther east in the gorge sustained around 30 miles an hour. Corbett and Crown Point. And the gusts today were impressive yet again. 66 miles an hour Corbett, 62 at Crown Point. East Troutdale 50, the Troutdale Airport 45. The I-205 bridge had a gust of 30 miles an hour. Then you get west of that and it all shuts down. It lifts a little bit, and that's as far as the east wind was able to penetrate during the day today. So it will be cloudy overnight tonight. The east wind will continue in the western gorge, but valley rain and mountain snow are on the way, not just for one day, Christine. We'll time that out for you just a bit. Back to you.
Sounds good, Matt. Thank you. Let's talk about two rulings today from judges in Oregon and Washington who put the brakes on the proposed $24 billion merger between Kroger and Albertsons. First, here in Portland, a federal judge ruled in favor of state and federal regulators after a 3-week hearing earlier this summer. The ruling pauses the merger at the federal level until a Federal Trade Commission judge can make a final determination. Kroger and Albertsons argued the merger would help them better compete with big retailers like Walmart, Costco, and Amazon. They proposed selling off nearly 200 Safeway, Albertsons, QFC, and Hagen stores in Oregon and Washington to try to minimize antitrust concerns. The FTC sued to block the deal, arguing it would be bad for consumers and workers by eliminating competition. Albertsons countered that it might have to lay off workers, close stores, and even leave some areas if the merger was not allowed to proceed. But in her opinion, Judge Adrienne Nelson wrote, "Any harms defendants experience as a result of the injunction do not overcome the strong public interest in the enforcement of antitrust law, especially given the difficulty in disentangling a premature merger." Meantime, shortly after that ruling, a Washington judge in Seattle issued a permanent injunction barring the merger from moving forward in the state, saying it would lessen competition. The state of Colorado has also sued to block the merger, but a judge there has yet to rule on the case. The Jewell School District in Clatsop County canceled class today for nearly 200 students after a 13-year-old was arrested, accused of sexually abusing another student. Devin Haskins reports now from Jewell on the investigation and the district's response.
The district wouldn't comment on the investigation or say anything about what happened, but did say they do take student safety seriously and are looking at security protocols and changing the way students move about the school. For the second day in a row, classes at the Jewell School District were canceled Tuesday. Nearly 200 students at their pre-K through 12 school staying home after what the district called a criminal investigation. The Clatsop County Sheriff's Office says a 13-year-old was arrested following a sexual abuse complaint at the school last Thursday. Mallory Schnepp is a mom of 5 in the district. She says her daughter was not the victim in Thursday's case, but says she has been assaulted before by the same student several times.
My daughter has been complaining to me for years about the specific student who was arrested, and if her voice would have been heard, this would have never happened.
Mallory says she's reported the abuse to the district and the sheriff's office.
Every single time the school tells us there was no evidence. And there's cameras, and there was no evidence on the cameras, so the student never got in trouble for the last 2 years.
The school district wouldn't say anything about what happened on Thursday, but said it is taking student safety seriously and sent KGW a statement that reads in part, "Please be assured that we are addressing the matter in line with our district's policies and procedures to ensure a safe and supportive environment for all students." The school says it's now making changes such as having bathrooms assigned for a specific grade level. Only one person will be allowed inside a bathroom at a time. And there will be a mandatory hallway pass for all grades with specific information about where the student came from and where they're going.
I guess the real question is how many claims would it have taken to actually do something? Because she wasn't the only one.
The district says students will be back in class tomorrow. In Jewell, I'm Devin Haskins, KGW News.
Coming up at 6:30 on The Story, the Portland Expo Center is heading toward a new future as a sports tourism destination. Take a look at these renderings. They show what the place could look like. Instead of 3 huge meeting halls, the new facility would have 2 ice rinks shown in blue on this map with an indoor court right next to it. The courts would host volleyball, basketball tournaments, or any other such activities. The center would still also host many of the events that are also held there now. A work session on the project took place today. Jim Etzel, the CEO of Sport Oregon, which works to bring sporting events to the Portland area, says the new plan will bring in a lot of money.
It is going to have significant visitor and economic impacts that is phenomenal for hospitality industry, food and beverage industries, which is a lot of that is small businesses.
And here are some other views of the plan. The center area with the trees would be a place to honor the history of the Expo Center. It was once a temporary holding facility for Japanese Americans forced from their homes during World War II. Pat Doris takes a look at the cost of the project and the timeline. That is coming up on The Story at 6:30, only here on KGW.